Hiya, my name is Caroline and this is Balacondula Organic Living. Welcome to the channel. I've just decided to do a first quick video today because I've just been out for a walk, and what you see everywhere at the minute is all your lovely yellow dandelions. And it's so lovely and sunny at the minute in Galway. So today I'm definitely going to have to get out and grab a few dandelions because they're just really perfect at the minute. Normally I'd wait and kind of usually do most of my foraging up in some fields in Roscommon, which is really good because yeah, she wants to play. Got a little helper today. So usually I do my foraging up there. There's some fields up there. I know they're not sprayed. There's no animals in it. It's really ideal. But for dandelions, actually, they're harder to kind of get in fields usually because the grasses kind of take over, and the plantain and all the other things. So I have a lovely big bunch in the garden, in my garden, which I know is safe. There's nothing on it. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to pick some of them because the leaves are really good and juicy. They're perfect this time of year for using. Just use them like rocket. That actually tastes quite like rocket, like your salad. Or you can saute it if you don't like it. If you think it's a bit too bitter or too crunchy. You can saute it like spinach as well. So dandelions are so good for you. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a few minutes. But it's the perfect day today. The dandelions are absolutely everywhere, and they're so fresh and ripe for picking. So I'm just gonna. Now here we are. We've got a lovely bunch here. I was looking at these the last day, and they're. Hold on, we'll bring this over here. Someday I'm going to have a lovely, nice wicker basket for picking. I love the idea of maybe making my own sometime, but in the meantime we just grab whatever we can.
Yeah.
This is your one, Thady, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your one, and that's Mommy's one. And these are the dandelions here, and everybody knows them. They're so easy to identify. Yeah, we're going to pick them. 1 second now. We're going to pick the nice leaves. You're going to pick one of the flowers.
I'm gonna pick this flower.
Yeah, and we're going to just go right down to the root, or just down to the bottom there. I'm just going to pick them like that as much as I can. They're perfect. They're so nice. Oops. They're so nice this time of year. They're really soft. They're still quite young in springtime, so they're not. Sometimes you see them later on. Sorry, you see them later on in the year, and they'll be quite purpley looking vines on it. They're much tougher. They're still fine. You can use them anytime. But you want to pick one?
I can't pick this one.
You can pick that one. You can pick that one and put it into yours. Now is the best time because it's putting all its energy into its leaves and the flowers, so you'll find a lot of the benefits are concentrated in the leaves this time of year. Good boy. Whereas if you, well, you can harvest the root anytime as well, but the root later on in the season, you'll find a lot of their nutrients will be concentrated in the root, so you'll probably get a bit more benefits from the root then. Today I'm just going to pick some of the flowers, mostly the leaves I'm looking for. I'll pick a few flowers as well actually. I use the leaves for salad. You did, you picked them, you did great. I'll be using them for making a tincture. I'll also be using, this year I want to make some, you picked that dandelion out, well done Teddy Bear. You're doing a great job. I want to do an infused oil because dandelion is really good for lots of different things. The tincture is really good because it keeps for so long. It's so easy to make. You can use the root, the flower, the leaves, pop it into a Kilner jar with some vodka for a few weeks and then strain it out. I'll show you how to make that. But it's really good tonic. Dandelion, it's really good for your liver, for your lymphatic system, for your kidneys. It's good for water retention. It's good for issues of menopause. It's good for your lymphatic system. Actually, in lots of different teas, you'll see, especially any teas that are to do with supporting the liver and stuff like that. Like everybody knows milk thistle, but it nearly always will have dandelion in it as well. It's got loads of really good properties. It's really good, high in minerals and vitamins, really high in potassium, vitamin A, C, D. Yeah, it's one of those flowers that people generally associated with being this horrible invasive weed, and even growing up here in Ireland we used to call them pissy beds, and it was almost to deter people from picking them and spreading the seeds maybe as well, oh, if you pick that. You're going to wet the bed during the night. And really, actually, there's a bit of truth in it because dandelion is a natural diuretic, so it does help to increase the function of the kidneys, which is where it came from originally. But I love dandelions. We do have a picture of the dandelions. You can see it. It's also a great source of food for the bees. You'll notice all the bees are just starting to kind of wake up a little bit now. Isn't that right, Katie? Try not to stand in it. So don't take too much. Now we have loads here in our lovely unlandscaped garden. So all the ones that are in the lawn, I kind of leave them ones, but I have certain areas of my unlandscaped garden where I can just letting these things go wild at the minute. Sometime I'll have more designated area for them when I do get around to doing the garden properly. But in the meantime, this is the area where I'm going to do all the picking, leaving all the ones in the lawn for all of the birds and the insects and everything. And actually another thing you can see here now as well, which is just perfect this time of year, is our lovely nettles. See our baby nettles? So I'm going to pick a few of them as well. And I'll just show you. Usually for nettles I will have marigolds on because nettles are stingy. Nettles, like dandelions, they both come up and are ready for foraging around the same time. So I usually do dandelions, nettles and plantain. I'll do plantain video another day. And they, especially with nettles, they say kind of up until the 1st of May you can pick them, but really this time of year in April they're just perfect. As you can see, they're not big and tall. You don't want to pick them when they're gone to seed and they're mature and whatever. You want to get them when they're nice and small. Usually just pick the top piece of them like that. Now I would usually wear marigold gloves most of the time picking them, but I don't really feel the sting anymore. But if you're doing it, I definitely recommend to put on gloves if you're more sensitive to the sting of them. That's just perfect. That's like the perfect amount that you want to be picking. These dry so easily and they're so great for making tea. You can also kind of blanch and freeze them as well if you want to use them for cooking, but I find the easiest thing is to dry them, and they keep really well for tea, and I use them all the time. I actually use nettle, dandelion and plantain mix for tea all year round, and nettle is so good. It's probably one of the most nutritious plants we have that grow wild everywhere around the place here in Ireland. It's really high in like your B vitamins and your iron and loads of minerals and everything as well. So
Mommy,
that's some nettle.
Mommy.
Yeah, you're not going to pick the nettles today, Mommy is. Isn't that right? So we put the nettles there in your box. I'm going to pick some of these leaves here. I might have them with some dinner later.
I'm going to pick some in my box.
You're going to pick some in your box. You're great. Well done.
I'm going to pick this in that one.
Very good. We'll make sure just to get the leaves. We won't get the grass. You can leave the grass there.
I found the card in there.
I want to take the top of some of these nettles because they're just perfect. Now, I'm kind of short for time today, but what I'm going to do is...
I've come back inside.
You're going back inside. You got all yours, good boy. Do you want to put them inside on the table?
I'm going to put some...
You want to put some more in? With the dandelions, or with anything that you're picking really. Once you pick them, just put out a newspaper and just pour everything out on top of the newspaper. And especially with like the dandelion flowers, if there's any little tiny little insects or whatever, just leave them there for a while. I'm going to head off and do a school run. When I come back, any little creepy crawlies are on it will have a chance to find another home.
Mommy?
And then I'll separate what I'm using for what when I come back. I'll need a good bit more for having enough to make an infusion, an oil infusion, which is just like that. You're just picking your leaves, your flowers, your root. So I'm not going to do the root here because I don't have a spade on me, but I will be doing some root later on, probably next week or maybe at the end of this week if I get a chance, because the root is really good as well, but it's much harder to get. The roots are, you know, they really go down deep, just why they're kind of so high in minerals and stuff. But They're not easy to get, but when you get them, like, they're nice and chunky, and there's plenty in them. But yeah, I chop up all of that, I'll put it into a kiln jar, and I'll fill it up with like an organic extra virgin olive oil, or even just an extra virgin olive oil. That's usually what I use. And then leave that for a couple of weeks. Usually 6 weeks I do, and then we'll strain it out, and I will use it for making salves. I'm hoping to make... That's another dandelion. Good boy. Wow, it's so pretty, isn't it? And infused oil can be good for making like a muscle balm, is kind of what I'm thinking. It's good for like muscle tension, sore muscles, aching muscles and stuff. Now I have some comfrey already brewing in a jar, or some infused oil already done, that I was thinking of mixing the two of them together to make a nice muscle balm. So I'll need a good bit more for that, but I'll start with what I have for today. I'll definitely be using these anyways for salads and for eating. And for the tincture as well, I'll put a mix of all parts of the plant, and I just fill that up with vodka for the same amount of time, strain it out and put it into little dropper bottles to use as a tonic throughout the year. So yeah, you're going to bring yours inside, Thady. You've done a great job. Show me everything you got. Wow, you got loads. Great job. Great job. Okay, so I'm going to stop this here. I'll hurry on and get a little bit more before I have to go, and then I'll show you the next step. Just for anybody that doesn't know, here's one that's gone to seed. Everybody would recognise what a dandelion flower looks like when it's gone to seed, or a wish fellow, like we call them. So there's got a lovely dandelion there that's in flower, and there it is when it's gone to seed. And Thady just can't wait to pick this up right now and blow it. Isn't that right? Do you want to pick it? Want to pick your wish fellow? Yeah. You gonna blow it? Good job.
You blow it, Mommy.
Wow! We did it.
Blow this one.
Yeah. Did you make a wish?
Yeah, look at this one.
Wow.
Ladybird.
Yeah. Look at the little ladybird. Climbing along the leaves.
Yeah.
Where's it going?
Yeah, there was it. I see the.
You see the little ladybird?
I see a ladybird. Yeah. Ladybird.
Now. Oh, it's flying. Look.
Try it.
Oh, it's going so fast. Now, I'm just putting them all out there on some newspaper. Just throw them out there a little bit and leave them for a while. And if there's anything, any little tiny insects or anything on it, they'll just crawl off. And later on, then I'll be able to wash what I'm using and get everything else ready. Okay, so for washing them, I'm just gonna fill up the water. It's just the dandelion I have here. I'm going to put a little splash of apple cider vinegar in it. Just give it a good old rinse. And it's a lovely dry day out. You see, like you can see when you're picking them that they're not very dirty anyway. And if you're just bothered or worried about, you know, anything being on them, that's why I put in a little bit of apple cider vinegar, which I would put into my salad anyway. So I'll just give that a rinse off in a colander. So rinsed out, I'm just going to give it a pat dry with a clean tea towel, and then that's ready to put aside for whenever I need to use it today. I'm going to do the same thing with the nettles. And because I didn't pick that much nettles today, I'm actually going to save them and use them for soup tomorrow. And I will pick more for drying. I'll show you how I dry them then. I'm picking nettles again. Yeah, I just came across this lovely big bunch of nettles here. Well, I said I might as well just pick a few more because I'm going to make a big pot of nettle soup tomorrow.
Mine. Stop. I want to pick.
Well, now I'm used to picking them with my fingers, so I don't feel the sting so much. But anybody else is doing it, they're best to wear gloves, aren't they? You know the rubber gloves. You know the rubber gloves like we have. We have pink ones and we have yellow ones. But there's loads. Look at this. It's a lovely big bush of nettles, which usually people don't like in their garden. But when you want to make nettle soup, I suppose you like it. And tea. There's loads here for picking. Like,
Mommy,
yeah.
please, can you...
Actually, might make a nettle pesto
Mommy,
during the week because there's so
Mommy,
many
what
over
are you
here.
talking to?
I'm just talking to the video that I'm taking here, showing people how to pick nettles and what they're good for.
Okay.
And they're good for lots of different things because they're full of vitamins. For soup, full of vitamins and minerals and
Mommy,
potassium and manganese and calcium and iron.
Mommy. Show me the
Big
little
gloves. I'm not too sure. Maybe under the sink. You can. Yeah, you can get a scissors and help if you like. Maybe you can show him where the gloves are. Yeah, vitamin K and B vitamins as well. So it's not that often that you find plants that are high in vitamin K, and actually nettles are one of them. They're just, it's so dense in vitamins and minerals that and it's everywhere in Ireland. I mean, we really should be just loading up on this during the year, this time of the year especially. So that's why I actually think I might make some pesto. I know I still have some even dried nettles from the end of last year's for tea, and I will dry some more because I'm nearly out. I think I would like to make some nettle pesto as well. If I could get my hands on some wild garlic, that could make something really nice. But these are like all the spring tonics that we should be loading up on this time of year. I mean, they're around us, they're everywhere. They're so full of everything that we need at this time of year after coming out of the winter time. Our vitamin D is low, our vitamins are low because unless we've been preserving our fruits and our vegetables and things like that, and all these things are really good for cleansing our systems after the winter time. And well done. You used your scissors?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I should just go a little.
Well done.
Over.
Just the top part, isn't it? That's the only part you need.
Yeah.
And later on in the summer, when the nettles are tall and they're maturing, you'll see all of the little dangly seeds off them, and I'll do another video then, because they're different. The male nettle and the female nettle, you can identify them once the seeds come in. And the seeds have really good properties as well and good uses, and as do the roots. And the roots are better to pick towards the end of the summer and autumn as well. And they have lots of good uses too. But at the minute, it's the spring nettles we're using for soup and pesto and tea. Thank you.
Is that really fun?
Say that again, Ron.
Nettles are really good. Reduce your blood sugar levels and are really good for people with diabetes.
Excellent. Yeah, that's another great thing. Did you read that in our backyard medicine book?
Yeah.
Excellent. How you doing there, Lennon?
Good.
Yeah.
Just picking
I want
some
to
of
just,
them.
I'll fill it up because we'll make a nice big pot of soup tomorrow. We had our dandelion salad for dinner today.
There.
And even if we get extra before the week is out, I think I might do pesto.
Oh, pesto.
Yeah.
Good pesto.
Good job, Didi. Yeah, make sure not to... Yeah,
Knuckles.
don't pick them out. We might get little gloves for you, I think, yeah? Thanks,
I
Ron.
couldn't.
You're cutting the top of them, maybe.
I couldn't these.
You're cutting them.
There. No.
The sun is setting. It's putting shadow everywhere.
I told you.
That's better.
There.
Excellent.
Because we get startled.
Yeah, but you know, if you step right into them, you're going to get a nettle sting on your legs. And actually, what's really good if you get a nettle sting? What's the best thing to put on it? Plantain.
Wow.
And have we got any plantain close to the nettles? Yes, we have. Right here. This little plant here, this is plantain. I'm going to do another video just on this because I absolutely love plantain, and it's probably the most useful plant, I think, that we use all year round, Rowan, isn't it? It's even better than dockleaf for nettle burns, absolutely, and for loads of other things. We'll do a video on that. A special video just for plantain, I think. And here it is, right beside the nettles if we need it. Okay, that's kind of full.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring that in?
Without getting...
Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I'm going to just make a quick tea. These are some of the dandelions and nettles that we got yesterday, and I'm running out the door, so I'm going to just pop a couple of, I'm going to just take 2 dandelion leaves, and I'll take this little small head of nettle, and yeah, the dandelion leaves. Because I'm heading out the door, I have this little, I'll just show you. It's like a little tea bag thing. Now it usually has a little, don't take out your dandelions. We're going to make some dandelion tea.
No.
Yeah, I'll show you how to do it. Look, we'll do it with the teapot as well. Yeah, there's usually a little metal chain on it as well, but curious children removed that from me. But it's still fine. So you can just squish it in there. Sorry, I've only one hand because I don't have anything fancy. I'm going to take another little bit of nettle. I'm going to shove that in there as well. And then you just close it up. Sorry. Pop it in my takeaway cup. Got my hot water. We have to run to the shop and get some leek. I think I'm going to use some leek with the soup later, and I forgot to get it in the shopping yesterday, so I have to run to the shop and might go for a walk down by it. So that's that. So if I wasn't running out the door, these are 2 of the pots that I use. The nettles, just they still have a little bit of a sting on them, so don't you touch them, good boy. These are the dandelions, aren't they? I think I got this in the charity shop. This is one. It's a really cute one. It's a little cast iron pot. I got that in. I got in the Flying Tiger. And inside you have your little steel mesh basket. So you just pop in like that. That does like 2 cups, I'd say. I'd put, like they usually say, like 1 or 2 leaves per cup, but I'd put in a little bit more of the dandelion anyway, because it's not that much flavour. And put a nice, these are very small little heads of nettles, so I mean, like when this is dried, when you dry these at home, you know, they shrink a little bit and they're more crumblier, so like, and you can actually crumble them up, so they usually say like a teaspoon per cup, but obviously these aren't dried yet, so I'd be happy enough with that. And if I had taken some plantain from the garden yesterday, which I didn't, I'd definitely add in like at least 2 leaves of plantain into that. So then you pour your water in. I'm going to do this actually because I don't even mind having it cold. I might have a cold later on, and it'll be nice and brewed. It's just brew it like normal tea, usually about 10 minutes, I think, 10, 15 minutes till it's cold enough to drink it. But I'd have that cold, no problem, later on. So that's my little cast iron pot for making tea. And here we have our little takeaway version. So me and Thady have just been to the shop. We're just out for a walk, and I had to take a video because there is dandelions everywhere. They're everywhere. You can see them in the field as well. Not so much in that one now. But it's interesting. The ones that grow on the footpath, or the ones that maybe grow in your flower beds and stuff like that, there are way more leaves on them. Whereas the ones you see in the field, mostly flower, less leaf. Must be to do with all the grasses are kind of fighting for who gets the most ground space. But you can just see the scattering of yellow everywhere, little yellow heads. And everywhere, anywhere there's a crack at all, you'll see a dandelion growing. 2 cows. We found them.
Yeah. We did.
They did. What colour are they?
Green.
Green. Not quite. The grass is green. They're brown. They're brown and some are black.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and black.
Brown and black. They're lovely, aren't they?
And brown and black.
They're brown and black, and they're all having a rest, aren't they?
Yeah, yes.
They're having a little rest in the sunshine. Yeah.
Yeah.
See you later, Mukas. So these are the ingredients that I'll be using for the nettle soup and the nettles, obviously. I have some more to add to that. So about 4 carrots. I'm doing 5 potatoes. This one is kind of small. 3 garlic cloves. I'm going to do 3 onions and 1 leek. I'm not following a recipe. I kind of just eyeball it and throw things together myself when I'm making soup. So it's not necessarily a traditional nettle soup recipe. I'm just using nettles in the veg soup that we're doing today. And actually I'm using homemade chicken broth from our organic chicken we had last week as well into it, because it's just such a good flavour. So I'll be using some of that chicken broth, and I'll also be using an organic vegetable stock cube. But I'm making a really big pot as well, because there's lots in the house, and anything that's not eaten today can be had for lunch tomorrow, or I can freeze it for another time. So I always make a big pot. Where's Tatey? So we're on to the nettle soup, and I'm going to I have a huge pot, as you can see. I'm going to saute the onions and garlic in some butter. Nice big lump of butter. I don't measure it, just a huge big lump. I'm going to soften down the onions and the garlic. Then I'm going to add in the leek. Added the leek now. I've done the onions and things for a few minutes. I'm just putting the lid on for a minute just to help the leeks kind of sweat a little bit with the onions and the garlic and the butter. But I'm keeping a close eye on it because you don't want anything to burn. And I've turned the heat down. Once I have it really hot to start off with, then I turn it right down. So I've actually decided I'm going to throw in the full colander full of nettles at this stage as well, and sweat them down with the onions. And I've decided I'm going to use 1 handful of the dandelion leaves from yesterday, because I have loads here and I have so much more to use, so I'm trying to use them up. Okay, that's kind of 2 handfuls really. You might as well. They're so good. My nettle and dandelion tea earlier was so yummy. Really, really tasty. They're even nicer when they're fresh. You know, when you dry them, it's great. You can have them for ages, but they're even tastier when they're fresh. Really, really nice. And for people who don't like, not too big into kind of herbal teas, like sweet teas, you can put a spoon of honey in. I don't really do sugar, so I'd only use honey if I was sick. But I'm going to add in a little bit of salt and pepper now at this stage as well, before I add in everything else. And also I'm going to put in some chili powder and some cayenne pepper, because they're really good for you and they're so tasty. Now you can see there, just whatever to your own taste. I put a nice 3 or 4 things of pink Himalayan salt. I love black pepper, so does everybody, so we put in a good bit of that. And then cayenne, which is really good. Cayenne pepper is really good for helping transport all the vitamins around your body to the right place, at least. So I'm actually going to add in, oopsie, everything else now. Just stir it up. And in here, in the silicone ziploc, I have a full thing of homemade chicken broth. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. So the chicken broth is in, and now I'm going to fill it up with water, and I'm going to add in an organic vegetable stock cube as well. Put in. Let's see. 3/4 of a kettle of water in there. And I'm going to add add in the veg stock on top of it.
It's too heavy.
Yeah, so this is just the organic vegetable stock that I have. Just gonna crumble that in on top of it.
Nettles in it.
And then we're gonna just bring that to the boil and then let it simmer till all the vegetables are done. And then we'll see what it's like. Hopefully it's nice. I would say this is nearly done. And how I know is just push the potato up against the side, and if it kind of squishes, yep. And the same with the carrot. Sorry, this is so steamy. Yep, lovely and squishy. So I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to let it cool down a bit before I go blending it. Okay, now we're just going to blend it up.
Let me do it, Mommy.
I'm going to do it now, sweetheart, okay, because it's all very hot.
I took a picture.
Nice and blended. Looks good, Lennon, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now for the taste test. What do you think, Teddy?
Soup is good.
Soup is good. Yay! It looks really good.
My, no, I can do it.
What'd you say?
I love it.
You love it. It is really tasty. Really
No,
flavoursome.
no, no.
The verdict?
Very good. Brilliant.